Congratulations, Hugh Jackman. My goodness. And I say this every time I talk to you. Is there nothing you can't do?
Many things, but yeah, it helps when someone can package up something I can do. And I really love doing this film, you know, and the fact I got this part in, I think, a really important drama. I mean, it's a thriller, it's suspenseful, keeps you on the edge of your seat, but I think it really has something to say, and it keeps you thinking and makes you question yourself as a parent, question yourself, what would I do in this situation? You know, I think there's something for everyone in this.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know how you did it. You come off Les Mis, which was like a draining role. Then you're training for Wolverine, so you're eating every 2 hours, and you're getting, and then the emotion and the psychology of this part that you are playing. I just don't know, where do you go?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not 100% sure where you go, but exhaustion really helped with this. I mean, one of the things I really got into with this in the research was the sleep deprivation that parents, families, as well as the police, you know, suffer. But as an actor, I'm drawn to a role like this like a bee to honey, because this is the kind of extremity, this is the kind of human experience that is cathartic to watch, that is important to portray, that is an actor, the kind of challenge you dream of.
I have to ask you, because I think the last time we spoke, you told me Les Mis was probably about the first film that you said that your kids weren't on set with you. And this one, I would really hope that they were there for you every day after cut, and you give them hugs.
No, they weren't, which made it difficult. We were shooting in Atlanta, and they were, you know, at school. So it was tough, although I was flying home, trust me, I was holding them tighter than ever before every weekend. And it was a really bizarre time because Les Mis was getting attention at award ceremonies. So a lot of weekends I was flying off and in a penguin suit on a red carpet with a champagne, and just yesterday had been, you know, as you see in the movie, in pretty extreme situations. So it was very schizophrenic kind of few months.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, you're such a good guy, and it was extremely hard for me to watch you in this role, especially the stuff with Paul Dano.
Yeah.
How did you get through those scenes?
You know, well, I have to really hand it to Paul, who is one of those actors, the moment he walks into the soundstage, he disappears. And, you know, he gave a role which could have been sort of bland, made it so complex and interesting and fascinating. You were constantly, the audience, like Keller, my character, were constantly trying to search into his eyes for an answer, and there was glimmers, and then it was very mercurial, and I thought he was fantastic. And then Denis, I remember he just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me, and I remember one point I was like, I've given everything, and I think that was it. I remember thinking, that's it. And he came out to me and he goes, I really need you to go there. I need you to go further. And I was like, go there? I thought I was just there. And he goes, no, there's another place to go to. And I was like, okay. So, you know, and that's sort of what you wish for in a director.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Denis, because, you know, great Canadian director. Oh. My God, he's wonderful. But why was he the perfect guy to direct this film?
Well, this film is, in one sense, a great thriller, a suspenseful, edge-of-your-seat thriller. You never know what's going to happen next. You're totally invested in that hunt and for whoever's got these kids, and you're involved, but he's elevated it. The script was there already, but he elevated it even further beyond a genre piece. He's made it a really important drama that keeps you thinking long after the film is finished and makes you question yourself and question what would I do, and a lot of grey areas. Now, Denis loves the grey. He likes those parts where characters are somewhere between good and bad. He likes that complexity, and he was a perfect person for this.
Yeah, you know, you were saying earlier, it is a film that really makes you think, and especially as a parent, and I don't want to go into details, but I did have that moment where my oldest son, who's now 21, but when he was 4 years old, went missing for 2 hours at a resort. I thought, you know, and Maria Bello had said to me just now, we talked and said, God forbid that should ever happen to my kid. I would rather want to know that he's dead than being gone missing. Hugh, honestly, as a human being and a dad, I don't know how you got through this one.
No, it was tough. But, you know, one of the things in the research that got me through it and pushed me further was doing the research of families that have gone through it with relatively happy endings and devastating endings. And there is a responsibility, I think, as an actor and as storytellers, to tell that story from your heart and truthfully with respect to those people, that there are real people going through it right now. Of course, it's in the news. We've just seen this whole situation come up. It's going on, and so it was important for all of us to really tackle it and give it the respect it deserved. And it was tough, but I'm proud that we've gone through it.
Yeah. How'd you like working with Jake Gyllenhaal?
I love Jake. I love him as a person. We have maintained a great friendship and we hang out. And as an actor, frustratingly, we only have 4 scenes together, 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah.
They are very pivotal and they're placed very deliberately. We're like two characters who are wanting the same end, and we travel separate paths. But when we cross over, they're my favorite parts of the film to shoot. And I loved working with him. It was just like a great tennis match from beginning to end.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is great, and he's a great actor. And I can tell you from what I read in the script, he really brought a lot more to that than was on the page.
Yeah, you have a lot on the docket, of course, and you just finished shooting in Montreal,
Right.
the X-Men gang
Yep.
again. And how cool was that, bringing like the young and the veteran X-Men all together?
It was so cool. I mean, the moment I heard the idea, I was like, I'm in. But to actually be there, it was like 2 great films in one. One was like this great reunion, and then it was like stepping into this incredible ensemble with this group of actors who, by the way, are very, very tight. And brilliant actors, and some of the hottest actors around right now. And when we were at Comic-Con, and I sat in the middle of that panel, and I looked at actors left and right, I was like, this is perhaps one of the greatest kind of ensembles I've ever seen. It's amazing to be part of it, and I think the fans are going to love it.
Yeah, oh God, are you kidding? I have a 17-year-old who can't stop talking
Right.
about it. He's so excited that Marvel films are huge. Okay, so going back to Broadway, what's your plans there? Are we going to see this P.T. Barnum thing come to life?
Well, that's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
Which is definitely in development, and there is Houdini as a Broadway musical, which we're about to have our 3rd workshop of. So that's sort of hotting up too. So, yeah.
When do you get time to sleep?
Yeah, I'm doing that now till Christmas. I'm taking time off, babe. Deb, I really am.
I want to look back at your extraordinary career, Hugh, because man, you don't stop. And I just want you to look back and say, what was the role that changed my life forever?
That's a good question. I think there's the one that would stand out for me would be the first film I did, shot here in Toronto, which was X-Men. Did I think at the time it was going to be that? No, I knew it was a big Hollywood movie and it was my first movie, and that was great. But no one knew the success it would have. And 14 years later, I'm still playing that. In many ways, that was a huge game changer. And Les Mis, I think, has done a lot to change people's perceptions, I think, of me as an actor, and just allowing me to do something different,
Oh,
And on stage, I would say The Boy from Oz.